Hello, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I do want to talk about Dinah Jane and some of the revelations she made recently in an interview with Zach Sang. Also, by the way, I love Zach Sang. He's so cool, and he's one of my favorite interviewers, and he does a really good job of, getting these revelations out of these artists and making them feel comfortable. But anyway, I want to talk about some of the revelations that Dinah made within that interview, more Fifth Harmony drama because it seems like it's just never ending at this point, and then also talk about Dinah's solo career. So let's just go ahead and get into the video. So if you don't know, but I'm sure you do know, Dinah or Dinah Jane was a member of Fifth Harmony, which is an American singing group formed from the X Factor. If I'm not wrong, they're the only big group that was formed by the US X Factor because obviously Little Mix and One Direction were formed on X Factor UK. But as the story goes, the Fifth Harmony members all auditioned solo and then they were later put into a group. When she auditioned, Dinah was only 15 and she auditioned singing Beyonce's If I Were a Boy. Obviously, that's a big risk because people like Beyonce, Mariah, Celine, Whitney, you don't sing their songs in a contest unless you are 1,000% sure that you're going to do it justice. But anyway, Dinah risked it all and covered Beyonce, and it obviously worked out in her favor. L.A. Reid was so impressed with Dinah's audition that he said that she took the song to places that Beyonce didn't. I did rewatch Dinah's audition, and genuinely I did get some chills, so of course she was put through to boot camp. For her boot camp round, Dinah chose to cover Mariah Carey's Hero first. So you can see that when she gets to pick her own songs, she leans more towards these R&B, more soulful ballads. And that's because they work really well for her voice. She has this deeper tone, and her voice is really mature and rich and powerful, almost piercing, but not in a way that's grating. For her next boot camp round, Dinah covered Kelly Clarkson, so another powerhouse vocalist, and she covered her song Stronger. However, unfortunately, Dinah did forget the lyrics. And Simon Cowell later said that had she remembered the lyrics to the song, she probably wouldn't have been put into a group and been allowed to remain a solo contestant. But Dinah did end up in Fifth Harmony, and the rest, of course, is history. When the group went on indefinite hiatus in March of 2018, the members embarked on solo careers. A few of the members, including Dinah, had put out solo music prior to Fifth Harmony's disbandment. Dinah released Boom Boom, a joint single between herself, French Montana, Red One, and Daddy Yankee. Her first single as a lead artist, which was Bottled Up, featured Ty Dolla $ign and Marky Bazzi and was released in the fall of 2018, just a few months after Fifth Harmony disbanded. Immediately when I heard Bottled Up, I thought, oh my god, this sounds just like a song that Fifth Harmony would have made. But apparently at the time, Dinah did say it was sort of a stopgap single until she found her sound. She said about this, "I feel like Bottled Up was something I just wanted to get off my chest. The transition from Fifth Harmony to Dinah, and I just didn't want to lose my fans, so I kind of kept some familiar sounds in there." She did, however, say that she aimed to change her sound as she grew more as a solo artist. In 2019, Dinah put out a 3-song EP, Dinah Jane 1. It has a more classic R&B sound. The music does allow Dinah to showcase her vocals more, and you can tell just by listening that she sounds a lot more at home on these songs. While they're not this deep, otherworldly music that I've never heard the likes of before, they also don't sound like manufactured artificial radio hits. To be honest, they kind of sound like soundtrack songs, like I would hear them playing in the background of a drama I'm watching or something of that sort. And I don't mean that in a bad way, I mean that more in a way of saying that the songs are very mood-setting. Like if you told me any of these songs are on the Insecure soundtrack or something like that, I could believe it. My favorite song on the EP is Pass Me By, but like I said, it only has 3 songs, so I recommend listening to all of them. Also that year, Dinah put out Retrograde, which is a more up-tempo R&B song. And while I like it, I can't say it's my favorite song called Retrograde because James Blake gets that honor. She also put out Seasons with a Boogie with the Hoodie. Dinah shows off her higher register here, and that sweet airy tone really does contrast with her more powerful vocals that she became known for. But it does make sense here because she's happy and in love in this song and not hurt, fed up, or overwhelmed with emotion. In 2020, Dinah put out 3 more solo singles, Lottery, 1501, and Missed a Spot. Missed a Spot to me personally still has that Fifth Harmony sound, and I really don't love it or hate it. 1501 is the standout for me. And honestly, the more you listen to Dinah's solo music, the more you really do realize how vastly underutilized her voice was in Fifth Harmony. But I feel like saying that someone was underutilized could be said for the majority of Fifth Harmony. And to circle back to Fifth Harmony, Dinah revealed in an interview that very little of her vocals were used on 2 singles from Reflection, which is Fifth Harmony's debut album.
I mean, I missed out on 2 singles. Our first 2 singles ever, and I didn't understand it at the time. I missed out on Boss, I missed out on Sledgehammer.
What do you mean you missed out?
I'm not on the record. I mean, I may be on the harmonies and the backgrounds, but there was like no part that I had except visually. I'm like, you better make sure I'm still in there then.
Did you
Sledgehammer was Reflections' lead single, and though I know that they did put out singles prior, your lead single from your debut album is a pretty important song to be included on. Obviously, artists should be included on all of their songs if they're there and capable, of course. I hate how Dinah phrases this happening to her as she missed out, but I also understand that she probably just doesn't want to start a shitstorm by naming names and making accusations. Dinah said that in Boss and Sledgehammer, her vocals are only in the background in the harmonies. And this is disappointing to hear, kind of like when someone is so excited to get a movie role and then they later find out that all of their scenes got cut. Dinah also said while in Fifth Harmony, she was told that her voice was too powerful and too soulful. So essentially, she was starting to change her voice to make sure that she could make it onto the tracks.
I think some of us girls had a fair share of not getting enough light on our voices. But for me, I mean, there was a moment where I was told that my voice was too soulful. It is too strong. It's too powerful. You're a powerhouse, but we need you to bring it down a notch. So I would kind of learn from the other girls. Okay, so how are these girls getting on these records? Okay, so make it more bright. Make it brighter.
And I completely do understand that part of a group being successful is that cohesion and choosing vocalists that are balanced and complement each other. But where I'm lost is that they knew what Dinah's vocals sounded like before they ever put her in Fifth Harmony. Because yeah, I'm not Simon Cowell, I'm not L.A. Reid, and I never will be. But personally, I don't think a voice like Dinah's ever belonged in a group like Fifth Harmony. And that's really got way less to do with the other girls and more to do with the music that Fifth Harmony made, especially their singles. Because with that sort of poppy music, a vocalist like Dinah just doesn't fit unless she alters her voice, which it got to the point that she felt like she had to do. And obviously, pop music is not bad, and definitely neither is Dinah's voice. It's just more of an incompatibility than either thing being wrong. Because she was left off of those songs, and probably out of fear of it happening again, Dinah said that in her live performances, she made sure to show off her singing as much as she could so that she could prove herself. And this had me thinking, maybe that's why a lot of the time it looked like Fifth Harmony was trying to out-sing each other rather than sing together. Because every time one of the girls speaks up about their experience in the group, it sounds like they were 5 girls turned against each other and made to compete to get some shine from the decision makers at the label rather than an actual cohesive group. This is a tangent and more of an unanswered question, but I've always wondered why so often we find out that an artist who makes this type of teeny pop music can actually sing, and in a lot of cases also can write or produce, but they just weren't allowed to. And I say all that to say I've never understood why labels or TV show judges will hear someone sing who has a voice from God, and they're like, nope, I'm gonna stifle that and give them this easy uninspired song. And y'all know I love a little easy uninspired pop song and often enjoy pop for pop's sake. But my question is, would it not be easier to choose someone who's not necessarily a vocalist or someone with an artistic vision to put that music out? Because it seems like what's the point of getting a level 9 vocalist to make level 4 or 5 music, so to speak, when you could easily find a 6 or 7 who can get the job done no problem? I'm not saying I don't understand wanting the best vocalist on your label or in your group, but I am saying I don't understand the point of signing them and then not utilizing that talent that you sought after. Like, I can't imagine hearing Dinah and the other girls sing and think, yep, that's it, we're gonna give them Worth It. And I know that radio hits are intended for mass appeal, but my point is that with the voices that these girls have, they got very few songs in which they could showcase their vocal ability to its fullest. Speaking of Worth It, within the Zach Sang interview, Dinah also mentioned that Lauren's vocals pretty much aren't on the song. Technically they are, but only in the chorus, and she's the only group member to not have a solo on the song. I'm not sure if there's a specific reason because Dinah herself says that she doesn't know why Lauren was left off and it was never up to the girls to choose who was on the song and who wasn't. And again, it's weird to me that they're choosing at all and that the whole group just isn't on the song. Yes, I acknowledge that different songs suit different voices, but I'm wondering why it wouldn't be the case that only songs are chosen for the group that suit the whole group. And I'm sorry, I just genuinely don't think it was a case of, oh, Lauren's vocals don't fit on Worth It. When the group performed the song live at the Premios Juventud in 2015, Lauren did get to have a solo in the second bridge of Worth It. It's just terrible to find out that members were left off of some of Fifth Harmony's sort of milestone songs. Like Dinah was left off the first 2 singles, and Lauren was left off their best performing song at the time and their second best performing overall. While in the group, Lauren was vocal about their mistreatment, and she's still been since. She said that even though Fifth Harmony had huge songs like Worth It and Work From Home, the royalties weren't enough for any of them to live off of.
I mean, can you correct me if I'm wrong? Like, when those songs play, do you get any royalty?
I mean, like, it's not gonna pay my rent.
No. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But the reality is those songs are making somebody a lot of fucking money.
I mean, of course, they're hit songs.
Oh yeah, and they're fucking
you know what?
everywhere.
The songwriters and the producers, they all make money off of it too, which is they gotta eat too.
Yeah, of course.
So overall, at least to me, it just doesn't sound like being in Fifth Harmony was a pleasant experience. Just a couple weeks ago, which was the main reason for the Zach Sang interview, Dinah released Yeah Yeah, her first single in a couple years. It's very tropical and island inspired, and it's not really too lyrically dense. Dinah said that Yeah Yeah is a more fun, self-confident song for herself, and her embracing the fact that her body and her image have changed since being in Fifth Harmony. She also wanted to keep her comeback single light since she quit music during her hiatus, partly because of struggling with depression. Essentially, Dinah said that she'd been so beaten down and just confused over the direction she wanted to take with her career, she told her family she was just over music and she wanted to quit. She also said that this confusion and also just the lack of putting out singles during this period made her feel like she was letting her fans down. All of this, of course, was alarming to Dinah's family because they knew that she'd wanted to be a singer her whole entire life. Things got so bad during this time that Dinah didn't even want to listen to music. She said, "I was honestly fighting my inner demons, and they had to understand that I was not okay. I couldn't keep going because I felt like if people in my career pushed me to keep going, I was going to destroy myself." But Dinah did take some time to heal, of course, and did feel encouraged to give music another shot. Earlier this year in May, Dinah attended a writing camp with Spotify, Warner Chappell, and Mono Stereo Music in celebration of Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. She says that in her upcoming music, she wants to use her platform to inspire the next generation of Polynesian artists. While in Fifth Harmony, Dinah said she wasn't given much of an opportunity to showcase her Polynesian culture, and so she's eager to make sure she does that in her solo efforts. When asked if she had any advice to give up-and-coming artists, Dinah told People, "Don't be like me and be shy. Embrace your stories, embrace your truth, embrace your wounds. That's when the music will make sense. That's when the passion kicks in. And not only the audience, but your ancestors will be very proud." Dinah said that prior to her hiatus, she had a debut album and a tour planned, but that it obviously didn't happen due to the pandemic as well as her personal struggles. She has said, though, that she has an upcoming project, which according to her contains some special gems, and that she would like to start her own record label someday. I'm glad I made this video because it made me realize that I truly do want Dinah Jane to be an R&B girl because she has the voice for it. And to be honest, I didn't really watch a lot of Fifth Harmony live performances whenever they were, like popping. And I would just watch like music videos or stream their music. So I wasn't, hearing a lot of their live vocals. And I say all that to say, first of all, I did not know that Dinah could sing like that, Miss Girl. But second of all, I realized a lot of the times that I thought Normani was singing on a track that it was actually Dinah. And speaking of Dinah and Normani, Dinah let it slip, or well, not let it slip, she said it. But Dinah said in that Zach Sang interview that apparently her and Normani have an unreleased collab floating around out there, so I'm gonna need them to release that stat. And then also, I just do wonder how common it is for, artists who are working in groups for their voices or vocals to be left off tracks for whatever reason. And I'm not talking about like, oh, they were sick or they were in jail so they could not physically be there, but they were there and, whoever was mixing the song or someone at the label was like, we're not gonna put your vocals on there. And as far as groups go, I think the only example of an artist not being on a group song that I know of is Takeoff, may he rest in peace, being left off of Bad and Bougie. So this is a topic that I'm gonna look into more because I'm sure that there are several more cases of this. Also, because Boss was mentioned in the video, this is something I've been thinking about for weeks, so I just want to say it here. I think I'm gonna have to do a video on like song lyrics that age badly. Boss is not a bad song, it still gets played for me in 2023, but that little every day is payday, swipe my card, then I do the nay, I'm like, you could tell this song came out in the early 2010s. There are so many songs like that, so that might be a video that you can look forward to in the future. And then I'm just gonna end the video on this note and say if the girls are ever up to it in the future, I would love a surviving Fifth Harmony documentary, because over the years, everything, like I said in the beginning, that is coming out about this group, it's never really that much that's good. So I'm just like, these little teenage girls must have went through hell in this group. So I'm honestly glad that they're out of it. I'm glad most of them are on the trajectory of having a successful solo career and at the very least getting to create what they want to create. So, go run over and support Dinah and her music because it genuinely is a good time and she genuinely is very talented, and I'm wishing her all the best, and I'm going to be streaming whatever future project that we get. As always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so that you can stick around for more. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitter, that way you can keep up with me there. And if you'd like to become a channel member, the link is in the video description. Again, thank you so very much for watching. I love you all so very much, and we'll see you so very soon. Bye-bye.